Good day, everyone! So today we will be reacting on a video about human acts versus acts of man. So I select a video on YouTube and I will be using it for this video. Credit to the owner. So let's watch the video.
Pag sinabi nating human acts, ito ay mga voluntary actions. Pag sinabi naman nating acts of man, these are involuntary involuntary actions. Pag sinabi nating acts of man, nauuna yung gawa bago yung isip ng tao. Acts of man or human ay paghinga, pagkisap ng mata, yun. These are actions without proper faculty of reason. Pag sinabi naman nating human acts, ito ang mga ginagawa ng tao. Sabihin, yung kilos ng tao na nagmumula sa kanyang will. Katulad ng sinabi ni Reyes, nagmumula sa kanyang will or with voluntariness or may pahintulot ng kanyang pag-iisip.
So I chose this video because it was well explained, and first and foremost, I agree on how the two subjects was being differentiated. It helps me understand more these topics. Yes, human acts according to the video are the voluntary actions, while the acts of man are involuntary actions. I like the idea that was being presented on the video, where he highlighted the first words. When we say human acts, the human as a conscious being comes first to the word acts, which means he voluntarily does his actions. That means he is morally accountable and responsible to what he did. On the other hand, acts of man, the acts comes first to man. So that means acts is done first before the human knows what things that he has done. Before the acts was occurred, he involuntarily doing the actions without his conscious mind, or he is not aware of what he is doing. As a human being who are granted with wisdom and has a capability to think above all the creatures, we are subject to use it in good, and whatever things we do, we are accountable for it. Yes, even we have freedom, but we are being reminded that we should always remember our Creator, who is the beginning of everything, and He is the source of our wisdom. We should always remember that whatever things we do, we should always do it to glorify God. I also like the examples that being used in the video. It helps the viewers to understand better the topic. For instance, as to what the video says, a person wants to eat an ice cream. So, he might buy for himself, or there are a lot of ways for him to get an ice cream. Whatever his ways, it is his will, or he is responsible to its consequences. In here, we can say that it is a human act, because not everyone wants to eat an ice cream, right? So it is not natural to a person or to human to eat an ice cream. It requires voluntariness or based on his will for that particular action. On the other hand, an example of an act of man is too much joy that it came to point to slap your friend or your mother. I remembered way back in high school, I have a close friend. We laughed together, and I accidentally pulled out her hair with so much force that result to a trouble. See, in here, even I didn't mean to pull her hair, because it was only driven of too much emotions inside. That's why I've done an unwanted action. Even I don't mean to do it, I still have to say sorry for my friend and be responsible for what I did. Whether we intentionally do it or not, if it causes trouble, we should always take our actions and be morally responsible to its consequences. According to the book of Ellen G. White in Patriarchs and Prophets, page 34.3 says, He takes no pleasure in forced obedience, and to all he grants freedom of will that they render him voluntary service. God give us freedom of the things we want to do. It even mentioned that he didn't apply any forces for us to obey him, but instead he wants us to voluntarily do service for him. He wants us to follow his commandments with a loving heart. If we apply this lesson to our spiritual life, human beings are subject to do things according to the will of God. For he knows everything and he is the only one who has a better plan for each one of us. Voluntary actions are meant for good deeds, just like offering our lives to the work of God. It requires our will to engage in ministry of the Lord. For in God, what matters most is not the deeds itself, but He looks into our hearts, for He sees our true intentions. Thank you, and that's all.